wounded heart that beats to the rhythm of impossible longing, soul that knows the bitter taste of love that never returns, spirit that walks in the shadows of a feeling that burns like sacred fire, yet consumes without warming. If you have arrived at this message, it is because Archangel Gabriel, the divine messenger of truth and emotional healing, has special words reserved for you. Your pain is not coincidence. It is a calling for a transformation that your soul already chose to experience before even incarnating on this earthly plane. I see you, dear soul. I see how your thoughts dance obsessively around this person who has become the center of your emotional universe. I see how your heart races when you glimpse a message that might be from them. How your soul contorts when you realize that your feelings are a one-way street, an echo that finds no response in the valley of your hope. This pain you carry in your chest, this sensation of incompleteness that settles like a permanent shadow over your days, this torturous certainty that if only this person would look at you the same way, all your suffering would transform into eternal ecstasy. I understand, my dear soul. I understand because I have stood beside countless hearts that have beaten in the same hopeless rhythm, that have dreamed the same impossible dreams, that have built castles of happiness upon the fragile foundations of one-sided love. You are not alone in this painful journey. Every tear you have shed in secret, every night you slept embracing the pain, every morning you woke hoping something had changed. All of this has been witnessed by the angels. All of this has been recorded in the sacred book of your spiritual evolution. But today, through this message that did not reach you by chance, Archangel Gabriel comes to bring a truth that may seem disconcerting at first moment, but which carries within it the power of the deepest liberation you can imagine. Prepare your heart to receive not just comfort, but an understanding that will forever transform the way you see, not only this impossible love, but all the loves of your life. The truth that angels whisper is this: unrequited love is not a cosmic punishment. It is not a sign that you are unworthy of love. It is not evidence that something is fundamentally wrong with you. Unrequited love is, in fact, one of the most sophisticated and merciful divine protections that exist. It is a sacred veil that prevents you from approaching a reality that, if known completely, would dissolve the illusion that is causing as much suffering as growth in your soul. Feel this for a moment. Allow these words to penetrate beyond the resistance of your mind, beyond the protest of your passionate heart. What you love in this person is not really them in their totality. It is an idealized version, a projection of your deepest yearnings, a blank canvas where you have painted the portrait of perfect love. It is as if you had fallen in love with a character from a book, with a melody you heard in the distance, with a reflection of the moon on water. Beautiful, touching, but not entirely real. The angels ask me to have you close your eyes for a moment and imagine something. Imagine that tomorrow, by some miracle, this person decided to reciprocate your love. Imagine them knocking on your door, looking into your eyes and saying exactly the words you have been dreaming of hearing. Feel the euphoria of that possibility running through your veins like liquid fire. Now the angels ask me to have you imagine what would happen afterwards. After the emotional honeymoon, after the novelty of conquest settled, after everyday reality began to show its less romantic faces, you would discover that this person, like every human being who has ever walked upon this earth, carries with them a universe of imperfections, of mannerisms that irritate, of unhealed wounds that manifest as coldness or excessive criticism, of moments of pettiness, of days when they wake up grumpy for no apparent reason, of habits that initially seem charming but which, in daily coexistence, become sources of friction. You would discover that they are stubborn in ways you never imagined, that they have irrational fears you cannot comprehend, that sometimes they are cruel without realizing it, that they carry traumas that make them react disproportionately to situations that seem insignificant to you. This is the divine paradox of unrequited love. It preserves the magic precisely because it maintains the distance. It is like contemplating a majestic mountain from the valley. it appears perfect, untouchable, sublime. But if you climb to the top, you will discover rough rocks, dirty earth, insects, imperfections that romantic distance had concealed. The mountain does not cease to be beautiful, but it ceases to be the solution to all your yearnings for transcendence. Archangel Gabriel asks me to share with you a truth that may initially seem disheartening, but which in reality is profoundly liberating. There is no human being on this planet who can completely heal the existential loneliness you feel. There is no person who can fill all the empty spaces of your soul, who can be the answer to all your unformulated questions, who can be the permanent home for all your dreams of completeness. But wait, dear soul, before your heart contracts in protest. This is not a message of despair. It is a message of freedom. When you understand that no person can be your emotional savior, you paradoxically free yourself to love in a more true, healthier, more sustainable way. When you stop looking for someone to complete you, you become complete in yourself. And from this inner completeness is born the capacity to love without desperation, without possessiveness, without the agonizing need to be reciprocated. Unrequited love is, in fact, an intensive course in self-knowledge disguised as romantic suffering. Every moment of pain you feel is actually your soul screaming to be heard, asking to be loved by yourself with the same intensity that you love this distant person. Every time you feel rejected, it is an opportunity to practice radical acceptance of yourself. Every night you spend dreaming of them is a night when you can learn to dream of your own infinite possibilities. Now I feel that Archangel Gabriel wants to speak directly to you through these words that carry the frequency of angelic healing. I am Gabriel, the messenger of divine truth, and I come through this message to touch your heart with the light of higher understanding. Beloved daughter, cherished son, your capacity to love with such intensity is not a weakness. It is one of your greatest spiritual gifts. But this gift needs to be directed first inward, to the sacred temple of your own soul. The love you feel for this person is real. It is valid. It is beautiful. But it is also a mirror that reflects the deep need you have to love yourself in this same unconditional way. I come to bring a healing that may seem strange at first moment. Instead of trying to forget this person, I invite you to know them better through sacred imagination. Close your eyes and imagine them not as the perfect creature your mind has created, but as the fallible human being they really are. Imagine them irritated in traffic, complaining about small things, being rude to attendants when stressed, having bad breath in the morning, being petty in arguments, carrying insecurities that make them act in ways you could not admire. This is not a practice of creating aversion. It is a practice of humanization. When you see them as truly human, with all the limitations inherent to the human condition, the impossible enchantment dissolves, and in its place, something much more precious is born. Compassion. Compassion for them, for you, for all of us who navigate this complex ocean of human emotions. The true gift that this unrequited love came to bring to your life is not the conquest of this person. It is the awakening of your capacity to love unconditionally, beginning with yourself. It is the expansion of your understanding about the nature of love, which is not possession, but freedom. Not completeness through another, but celebration of the inner completeness you already possess. I bless this healing process that is beginning in your heart at this exact moment. I bless your courage to look beyond romantic illusion and find the liberating truth that is waiting for you on the other side of disillusionment. I bless your journey home. And home, dear soul, is your own heart. If this message is making your heart vibrate at a frequency of recognition, if you feel that these words have touched something very deep in your soul, I invite you to write in the comments, I choose to love myself with the same intensity I loved you. This is not just a phrase. It is a sacred declaration, a commitment to your own healing, a key that opens the door to a self-love that will never again allow you to lose yourself completely in another person. The healing of unrequited love does not happen by forgetting the person. It happens by remembering who you are, when you are not defined by the need to be loved by them. It happens by rediscovering your own colors when you are not trying to paint yourself in the colors you imagine they prefer. It happens by finding your own music when you stop trying to dance to the rhythm of another person's feelings. Your capacity to love deeply is a divine gift. But this gift was not given to be wasted on impossible loves. It was given to be cultivated first within you, to then bloom naturally in relationships that are based on mutual choice, reciprocal recognition, shared growth. True love is not the one you need to beg for or conquer. It is the one that recognizes you as you are and chooses to remain, not out of necessity, but out of joy. I see you walking toward a future where this pain will transform into wisdom, where this wound will become a source of compassion for others who are going through the same process, where this experience will reveal itself as one of the greatest gifts your soul could have given itself. I see you finding a love that does not need to be unrequited to be intense, that does not need to be impossible to be transformative, that does not need to cause pain to be meaningful. And even this person who is today a source of so much suffering, one day you will look at them with gratitude, not because they reciprocated your love, but because through them you learned to reciprocate the love of your own soul. They were, unknowingly, a disguised teacher, a camouflaged angel who came to teach you one of the most important lessons of this incarnation, that you are already complete, already worthy of love, already enough exactly as you are. Archangel Gabriel asks me to close this message with a special blessing for you. May your capacity to love always be preserved, but may it be directed first to the sacred temple of your own being. May you find in solitude not an emptiness to be filled, but a fullness to be celebrated. May you discover that the great love of your life has always been yourself, and that all other loves are merely beautiful reflections of this central truth. If you feel this message reached you at the exact moment you needed to hear it, leave in the comments which part touched your heart most deeply. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing so, not just to receive more messages like this, but as an act of self-love, a commitment to your own healing and spiritual growth. Until the next video, may the angels continue guiding you toward the self-love that is the source of all other loves. And may Archangel Gabriel continue whispering liberating truths in your heart until you finally understand that you are, and always have been, deeply loved by the universe.